Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Del Mar for day 2 of the 2025 Summer Meet. I'm Kurt Hoover. I'll be with you throughout the meet as we get set for a really good 11-race card. My guest this afternoon, my friend Tom Quigley. And Tom, I know somebody won yesterday. I'm guessing somebody won. I didn't, and I don't know a single person that did. How about you?
Neither do I, and we know also that nobody had the pick six. Nobody had the super high five in the last race, so we got carryovers in both of those. Really difficult day yesterday. Unfortunately, today looks almost equally difficult.
I agree, Tom. We got $127,000 carryover in the pick six. That's 6 through 11. You talked about the super high five carryover in the last of 18,000. The first thing I do, Tom, and I've said this many times because I am a big pick six player, I handicapped the pick six, but what I mean by that is, could this carry? Is it impossible? Do I love a single? I think this thing could carry again.
It could. I think there's two singles that a lot of players are going to put into their ticket. If they lose, it increases the chances of a carryover. But if they win, it decreases the chance of a carryover. I'm specifically talking about a thought process in our San Clemente feature race, and also the Bob Baffert first-time starter in the first leg of the pick six, race number 6. If those two horses win, or those two fillies win, then I think it might get hit because it shrinks down to a pick 4. Plus, it's a $1 denomination here at Del Mar. If they lose, then all bets off. It could carry over again.
Yeah, very, very difficult sequence. Let's try and build the bankroll early on, Tom. We got a lot of maiden race today, a lot of Cowbreds. Boy, nice to own a Cowbred. $100,000 purse for Cowbreds. I was thinking about that yesterday, Tom, when Edwin Alvarez won that race. He owned, trained, and bred that horse. So you get $60,000, $6,000 in the jock, $54,000 in the pocket, and the Cowbred awards down the road.
Finally, we can compete with Kentucky and New York, right? Because we desperately needed this size purse to reward the owners. It's great for the industry. It's great for the breeders. And like you said, maybe some of these owners were using their races at either Los Alamitos or Sanitas prep races for Del Mar simply because they knew the purse would be bigger. But let's look into race number 1. I'm going to go with a first-time starter who's the current betting choice, Kurt. Number 9, Mo Haven. This sire has gotten off to a rock-solid start. Freshman sire, son of Uncle Mo. 5 for 15 with his first-time starters. As I look through the field, there's not a whole lot of depth to me in terms of either trainer proficiency with first-time starters, pedigree proficiency, or maybe even in some cases some runners that are bred for the turf. However, I know that number 1, What's a Good Name, is going to take a lot of action in my belief, because ran over at Churchill Downs against Open Company, now comes back here to Del Mar, drops into Calbreds. But Brad Free had an interesting statistic yesterday in his opening day analysis. The last 3 years combined for both the fall and the summer meet, the rail at 5 furlongs in the main track is 0 for 26. Simply because of that statistic, I don't care how talented a horse is on the rail sprinting 5 furlongs in the dirt. I want to see one win before I actually back it. So I'll put number 9 on top. I'll also put another first-time starter, number 4, Coyote Cafe, as my second selection. David Cohen is now represented by Ryan Glatt, Mark Glatt's son. Maybe they're trying to give David a little bit of a bone here. Good price on a Mark Glatt first-time starter as well. 9-4 for me in the first race, Kurt.
Yeah, what's interesting about What's a Good Name by Grazen, but Kentucky bred, that is very, very unusual. I went to a first-time starter here, the 3, Let It Begin for Carla Gaines. Dam was a maiden. This is the first race, but the workout reports are very good, especially the gate moves. Freysu rides, and then I went to the 9, Mohaven for second. So 3-9 for me in race number 1. On to the second. Boy, this is a difficult race, Tom, and what makes it even more difficult than usual to me is some drops that I would think were suspicious, or what are they doing in the past. Look at the purse. It's $30,000 for 10 claimers. So if you lose the horse and you win the purse, that's $28,000. These drops make more sense when you take that into account.
That's what makes the handicapping the races here during the summer meet at Del Mar so much more difficult, because you have to take that into account. Drop, win, get claimed. They're almost like they hit a home run.
Right.
So having said that, I'm actually going to try and beat both favorites, or I should say both choices that are taking big drops down in class, the 1 and the 4. I'm going to side with number 3, Kurt, Twilight Empire from the Lee Baraccio barn. Just take a look at how this horse, how this mare's career has progressed her last 3 times. The first time she was in the Lee Baraccio barn back on April 26th, she hit a wet fast track. Just draw a line through that. Then she ran at this level for $10,000. She emerged victorious while adding blinkers. Last time out, she was overmatched. She lost to a Peter Miller runner. Now they drop back down to a more realistic level. I like Twilight Empire on top. I'll also give a long look to another price, number 8, Roman Empress. You know Jesse Uranga from Los Alamitos. He does very, very well. This is almost the opposite of what we were talking about in terms of runners dropping. This one is going up in class off the claim. Imagine if he were to win this purse.
Right.
$18,000 off the $6,000 claim. I like the barn switch. I can make a case for him as well. He's well clear of the 3rd place runner last time out. Maldonado in the saddle. Uranga hits at 15%. first off the claim over the last 5 years. 3-8 for me, and like you said, if the droppers don't win, Kurt, then the race becomes a little bit more muddied.
Yeah, I went to one of the droppers. I went to Isabel Ludlow. I do like the way she ran at Lowe's. I thought it was a very good second. The winner of that race, Elegant Sway, is much better than those horses. She's a Cowbred allowance type of horse, and I think that was a much stronger race. She won her only start here. Frey Sue rides back. She should get a good trip. I put her on top. Unwritten code, I don't know what to make of the drop. I mean, it makes sense with the purse, but still, she's a turf sprinter. If she's going really good, you can knock down some turf purses, right? So I put her second with caution, 5-1 for me in race number 2. On to race number 3. On the turf here for maidens, going 5 furlongs. What are we doing this one, Tom?
You know, I always like to try and beat the obvious horse, Kurt, if at all possible. But I think Arrakis number 2 is the runner to beat in race number 3. You can see not only does he have a good improving Beyer speed figure pattern, which I like to see just generally. I'm not addicted to the numbers per se, but I like to see gradual improvement with the maidens. And one of the other styles of handicapping I like to employ, Kurt, is with Arrakis, with that comeback race, first start in 2025 back on May 26th. The second place finisher, who he just lost to, came back to win. Cuban Confusion came back to win and earn an 85 Beyer speed figure, somewhat validating that 82 that Arrakis earned in that comeback race that I mentioned. For all those reasons, and you look back, lost to Gaming in the debut. No one was going to beat Gaming last August here at Del Mar on the main track. So I think Arrakis is the one to beat. I'll also use the other D'Amato runner, number 9, Arctic Power. These are the type of horses that he wins with here at Del Mar. First time gelding, first time Lasix, like you mentioned in the opening. A lot of these ownership groups and trainers, I think, were pointing to this meet because of these large purse values. 2 and 9, Kurt, for me in race number 3. How'd you see it?
I like a price horse in here, Tom. I'm going to take a shot with the 6 Reno. I know this horse cannot be as bad as that debut. They paid a lot of money for this horse. I mean, obviously he's got issues. It took till 5 to get the races. He's gelded. But his half-sister, Cairo Memories, was a very good grass horse that Bob Hess, who won first out, won 2 graded stakes. I'm just taking a shot. This horse is going to like the turf and did show speed first time out. So I'm going to go to Reno on top. And then for second to 9, Arctic Power, gelded, Lasix, all the reasons you mentioned. So 6-9 for me in race 3. On to race 4. Maidens going in this one. Another very, very tricky race in the 4th race. Some with experience, some intriguing firsters with decent pedigrees. How'd you sort this one out?
Going to go to the outside again, Kurt. And number 7, Jalisco is going to be my top selection. 8-1 on the morning line for a very nondescript barn. But that race 2 back on May 25th, when he earned certainly a field best 71 Beyer speed figure that particular afternoon, kind of stands over the field. Last race, it was a split division, and actually this was the slower race. But the winner was the O'Neill, first-time starter, you might remember, Kurt.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I think Jalisco, with the experience, is the one to beat. I'll also give a little love to number 5, Southern Melody. Dwelt last time out. Looked actually pretty good in the paddock. Maldonado decides to ride back. Terry Lovinger is sprinkled in all these races, whether an owner or breeder. Good luck to him and his connections with this big purse once again of $100,000. 7-5 for me in race 4.
You know what a big music fan and aficionado I am, Tom. How can I pass up exact to Benny and the Jet and Sammy Davis? I mean, that's got to be the all-time music exacta. I did pick Sammy Davis. The dam was a debut winner at 8-1 at Woodbine. She's also had 2 winners get to the races, so I'm going to go to Sammy Davis on top. I, too, like the way Southern Melody ran first time. I guarantee you this horse has a lot more speed watching that race, Tom.
No doubt about it.
Well, didn't break it in any one of those big mid-race moves and got tired. This horse has speed, and I think we'll show it today. 3-5 for me in race number 4.
And took action 5-1 in the debut in a 7-horse field.
On to the 5th race. We get on to the turf. Got a field of 9 going postward here. What do you do in this one?
I think there's a price possibility in race 5, Kurt, and specifically I'm referring to number 8, Origami.
You are the 3rd person I know who's picked that horse. My friend Simon Bray picked the horse. I saw his picks. My friend Bob Ike likes the horse, and you like the horse. Origami folded last time, though, Tom. I'm sorry I couldn't help myself.
True, but Origami also ran against Oler last time out, and now drops in against her own age group. Also take a look, Kurt. I think she's going to run very well with Lasix because she's only used it 3 times in her career. 2 of those efforts were actually really good. And last time out when she ran against Oler, you'll remember the winner was that Mark Glad Import, who I believe has a lot of ability. She actually was kind of hanging tough with those runners until the top of the lane, then understandably folded. But I think the cutback in distance is going to help her. Doug O'Neill got off to a good start yesterday with 1 victory. Origami, 15-1 on the morning line, my top choice. I think the controlling pace in the race is number 3, Proud Starlet. I like the way they managed this filly. She broke her maiden on debut from breaking from the rail here at Del Mar. Then they put her right in the Grade 1 Del Mar debutante, indicating that they thought she had some ability. She got bounced around and really ran up the track that day, but then came back in a minor stakes at San Anita, again breaking from the rail. Didn't really have a whole lot in a 4-horse field. But last time out, I think showed a new dimension on the turf off the layoff. Now second off the layoff, Proud Starlet 5-1. But I'm going for a home run here with Origami in race number 5, Kurt.
Yeah, I ended up picking Origami second because all my friends liked the horse. That was good enough. I just guessed and picked Transcending. Lasix coming in for Phil D'Amato and gets Juan Hernandez. I also thought, hey, Little Late had an outside look. She is a late-running sprinter. I think the last race was just to get her fit for Del Mar, to get her race into her. Mike Smith rides, and Hess doesn't make a lot of blinker changes. Blinkers going, I find that interesting, too. So I went 6-8, but I'll look to Hey Little Lady at a price. All right, it's picked 6 times, Tom. It's a big carryover. I hate to say this. I don't know if I'm going to play today. There's no single I trust. 2 or 3 of these races, I would have to go 5-6 deep to have any confidence. Even at $1, I just don't know how to play it today.
But you can play the 50-cent late pick 5. I mean, you can still get involved. $3 late pick 3.
I'm going to get involved. It's just a matter of where. I'm going to get the bankroll built up from yesterday's bloodbath.
Well, I'm a believer, Kurt, that a lot of pick 6 players, as I mentioned in the opening, are going to single number 6, Cherry Cider. You can see last time out, Bullet Workout at San Anita, best of 100 that particular morning at the distance of 4 furlongs. She's obviously got a lot of ability. And Bob Baffert, I looked up the statistics in Daily Racing Form formulator that I know you use a lot, Kurt.
Yeah. Couldn't handicap without it.
Not at all. I don't know what we did before it.
I have no idea.
Since the start of last year's summer meet, Bob Baffert has started 18 2-year-olds, combining both the summer and the fall meet. He's won with 7 of them, finished second with 7 of them, and finished third one time. 15 for 18 in the money. It's unusual when his runners don't fire. The problem is they're always overbet.
Always short.
So it's either all or nothing to me. If you don't like Cherry Cider, then you're going to have to spread and you fall in the predicament that you just described.
Exactly.
You're going to maybe waste a lot of runners and a lot of combinations if Baffert wins by 10. But if he loses, then you're alive for maybe being the only ticket.
Because there's so many first-timers that have trained well. I picked Super Corridora. The dam has had 1 winner. That was a debut winner at Prairie Meadows, Barrios for Saddle. I just have a gut feeling Saddle's going to have a giant meet. He had a real slow San Anita winter meet, but in the Hollywood meet, his barn got rolling. Got a winner yesterday. It just seems like a barn that's going to get going to me. So I put that horse on top. And for all the Alanis Morissette fans out there, thank you, India. I had to pick second. Again, 1 winner. That was a debut at Remington Park at 16-1. Michael Jall, a long-time owner. Jall Brothers goes way back to some nice horses.
And
way
let's
back
face
when.
it, trainer Andy Mathis knows he's probably going to run into a Bob Baffert runner coming down here to Del Mar.
Sure.
He must think that Thank You Indy has ability. That's why he entered in the race, and you're going to get a price.
Yeah, I went 2-8, but again, a lot of first-timers that look like they can run. 7th race is the Wicker $100,000 purse. This is named after a horse the late Bobby Frankel trained, who won a ton of races in California. Nice to remember these old horses. Scratch, Il Bellator. Good luck here, Tom. I don't even know where to start here. I mean, the morning line favorite hasn't run in almost 3 years. That's the starting point.
I agree with you. And in my opinion, Kurt, I think this is actually the best betting race on the card. I know there's a lot of different ways you could go, but if you're able to connect the dots, you're going to get handsomely rewarded.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to basically be a price. I don't think come post time that Beyond Brilliant is going to be a short price. I think he's going to be a lukewarm favorite at best. My top selection, Kurt, in the race is 20-1, and it's the rail horse, number 1, Watsonville. It's just an old-fashioned daily racing form. Don't even overthink it type of pattern play, for lack of a better description. This is one of my favorite angles in Southern California. Trainer Mark Glatz, second off the long layoff, as you can see in the racing form, hits at a 38% win clip with a huge positive ROI. You don't even have to think about it. You know that Glad is going to have his runners cranked up. And take a look at Watsonville's last effort. It was in the Grade 3 Daytona, sprinting down the hill, finished a credible 5th, but more importantly, of the 3 career wins, 2 have been here at Del Mar, and both have been at this distance. He got a good inside post, and the price you got to love. So Watsonville, for me, in a very, very tough race. I also like another price, Kurt, that you might like, and that's number 9, Almendaris. Comes out of the Grade 1 Frankie Kilroe. There's no such runners like that in this particular field. In the Kilroe, got bet down off a morning line of 12-1 to 5-1. 1 and 9 for me in a very, very tough wicker.
Really good race. I bet my blank on Final Boss last time out. I thought that horse was a cinch, and I wasn't sure he won. It was one of those photos where I said, well, I think he won, but I'm not sure. Then I had to survive a very long inquiry that was kind of dicey, too. But I loved the way he won, Tom, and even more impressive, the horse he beat came back and aired yesterday. Genius Jimmy.
For sure. Michael McCarthy.
Really impressive. And I like the fact the horse had time between races because that was an all-out, gut-wrenching kind of race. I like Final Boss on top. I always respect Brand. This is a horse who fires every time out. He doesn't win every time, but he is a racehorse. And my 20-1 knockout horse is 911 Turbo for Neil Drysdale. This horse loves this turf course. He's probably better going longer. I will admit that. He's probably better going a mile and 1/8 or even further, but he's got ability. He's trained well for Neil, and he gets Maldonado. So 4-7 with a little 2 sprinkled in.
Tough way to start the 50-cent late pick 5.
I might not even play that the way things are going, Tom. 8th race kicks off the pick 4. Maybe we can play that. 5 furlongs for California-bred maidens. Another grab bag. You got horses who've trained well. You got horses with experience. How do we sort this one out?
This is a tough one. To me, this was one of the more difficult races on the card from trying to get a handle on it.
Every race is the same, right? They're grab bags.
And a lot of maiden races, which makes it so tough because you well know over the years, horses can improve dramatically.
Huge.
From start 1 to 2, start 2 to 3.
Even if they have a so-so running line, right?
Correct.
It's how much they move forward, especially 2-year-olds.
Let's go with number 3, Max Chow, who's adding the blinkers for trainer Steve Knapp, has the best last race by her speed figure. Jalisco comes out of this same race, who I talked about in one of the earlier maiden races. This goes back to the theory that I have, Kurt, that maybe some of the connections like Lovinger and Steve Knapp use Santa Anita more as a prepping type of race and really is going to come out firing here at Del Mar with this massive $100,000 purse. After that, I mean, you can twist my arm and talk me on anybody. That's what I thought about this race.
I agree. I picked No Joke and Taurus because I do like the way that horse ran first time out of a really good broodmare. I wrote finished well, galloped out in front, and I think the horse will move way forward off that race. But a lot of the firsters have trained well. Thirsty Rebel, drawn in a rail for Doug O'Neill. The Dam was a debut winner at Saratoga. She's had a couple of winners. I was amazed by one of her winners, Tom. A horse named Megatron Ruler ran 79 times, 22 wins, 20 seconds, and 11 thirds. So 53 times in the money. You know how much the horse made? $129,000. Raced in Oregon, Wyoming, Nevada.
They don't make them like that anymore.
No, a really cool horse is a 22-time winner. I also thought for a price, I talked about barns that don't make a lot of blinker changes. Craig Lewis does not do that a lot. And I like the fact he's putting blinkers on John Metcalf, another clubhouse ride colt. Didn't break, got lost, and again, Tom, like you, last year I've placed so much more emphasis in 2 races on second-time starters. Even if the line looks like that, they just get so much out of it. They get dirt kicked in their face. The light bulb kind of goes on, so I thought he had a chance at a price.
And it's a different surface. That's why we get prices down here at Del Mar.
Yeah.
You know, we're assuming that past performances are indicative of future performances, just like in the stock market.
Yeah.
But when you see crazy results like we did yesterday on opening day, that's not true.
Right.
Because the past performances are not indicative of future performances.
And a much different surface in Santa Anita. They're just different kind of racetracks. The 9th race, named after one of the most beautiful beach cities in Southern California. I'm biased because I spent a lot of time there. San Clemente, about a half mile up the I-5. One of the beach towns in California that hasn't been ruined by development and chains, Tom. So let's get a winner to San Clemente handicap.
Well, this could be one of the more formful races on the card, and unfortunately I do like the favorite, number 5, Thought Process, simply because not only is she the best filly in the race, but she's got a little bit of history on her side as well. Again, thanks to Brad Free at the Racing Forum who pointed this out, favorites have won 5 of the last 6 San Clementes.
That's a big number.
That is a big number. And Phil D'Amato has won 3 of the last 4. Phil D'Amato has 2 runners in here. But Thought Process, who's the 123-pound highweight, last time in her first start in 2025 at Santa Anita, ran the mile in 1:33 and change.
Yeah.
Now, granted, she used Lasix that particular afternoon. She's not able to use it today. But last year as a 2-year-old, she didn't use Lasix. She was fine over this turf course. She's got plenty of room to even improve even more. If she does, I think this race is over. The one that I think has a little bit of ability that might be able to upset her is number 3, Me So Fancy. I know that you know this filly, Kurt. She has a tremendous late kick. And if you watch the replay from 2 races back when she was sprinting 6 furlongs, it didn't look like she had a chance at the top of the lane.
Exploded.
Umberto Rispoli exploded late. That was her first start in blinkers. Last time out, she was in a blanket photo in the honeymoon. I think she has a right to improve. She's never finished worse than second. Thought Process a single for me and many other players, but an upset possibility with Me So Fancy.
Yeah, I thought so many races today were wide open. I don't think that in the San Clemente. I thought it was a 2-horse race. Thought Process is the horse to beat, all the reasons you talked about. And I like Will Then. I love the way this horse won the Durante, cashed a nice bet on her that day. I love the barn. Getting a lot of respect for Jonathan Thomas. Watch him run horse in California. So I like her. She's trained well. Again, looks like pointed for this race. So it's a either or for me. I can at least narrow down the San Clemente, hopefully. On to the 10th, Tom. First half of the late double. Good luck here. I don't even know where to start who is the horse to beat. I don't necessarily think Tis Secure is the horse to beat, but it's Baffert. What do you do here?
I don't like Tis Secure either. She's a 3-year-old, or I should say he's a 3-year-old running against older. Let's talk about our friend Ron Ellis, who trains number 3, Concord Bridge. This horse has turned into a different horse since being claimed off trainer John Sadler back in December of last year, especially the last 2 times. 1 time sprinting, 1 time going 2 turns. Another statistic courtesy of Brad Free, going 1 mile on the main track. 44% of the winners last summer here at Del Mar went wire to wire. 70% were either first or second throughout the entire race as well. So you want runners going 1 mile on the main track with early speed. That's what Concord Bridge does have. And also, Kurt, I'll point out one other statistic. Mr. Leisure ran against Concord Bridge in Concord Bridge's last race. Mr. Leisure came and finished 4th, beaten by 11 lengths by Concord Bridge. Mr. Leisure came back for Tim Yakteen yesterday to win race number 2, earning a Beyer speed figure of 76, validating this 92 Beyer speed figure that Concord Bridge got. For all of those reasons, at a price of 6-1, maybe T-Bays is in for a good day too. He had a good day 1. T-Bays and Concord Bridge, my top selection, and possibly another single for some players in race number 10.
Yeah, I looked at this race a long time, and I really didn't even know who to pick. I ended up picking Indispensable. I'm just going to throw out his last race. For whatever reason, he just bombed off the layoff, but he's got ability. He should get a good trip. Lyle Song's been gilded. He showed some promise. Concord Bridge could win. Brazenly is a horse I've always liked him. He's one of these horses who doesn't win often, but he tries every single time. And I was joking with his owner, Radar Rob. I said, your horse makes the same move every time. He starts running the 3/8. He makes that looping kind of move, and he doesn't win often, but he fires every single time. And one of these days, he's going to go by.
He's a great horse to hone because you're always going to get a check, but he's a horrible horse to bet to win because he's 1 for 21 the last 2 years. But nevertheless, we're rooting for Radar Rob. Last 2 races back when he ran on the turf course, he had a perfect setup with a lot of early speed. Couldn't get the job done. I'm not betting Brazenly to win, but I'm rooting for him emotionally.
Kind of horse you love to own. He's an ATM machine. He more than pays his way. Let's get to the 11th and final. Good turf race here going a mile. Another race I thought could fall a lot of different ways, Tom. How do we close things out on this almost impossible card today?
Let's lean toward a couple of the outside runners, Kurt, and I'll try and convince you that number 11, Rosalie May, is the one to bet on and also the one to beat. Ever since Juan Hernandez got on her back 3 races back, she's run fantastic. And that coincided with her running 2 turns on the turf course. Again, you can see she's got that good improving Beyer speed figure pattern. Each start better than the previous one. I think she's going to take another step forward today. She's only 3-1 on the morning line, but I like her chances to win. If you're looking for a bit of a price, I like the filly drawn right outside of her, number 12, Defiance. You'll remember the Dam Avenge. She won 2 Grade 1 Rodeo drives at San Anita. Richard Mandela was the trainer. Also, she's a full to Vengaza, also trained by Richard Mandela. More of a sprinter than a 2-turn horse, but nevertheless, she's lightly raced. She won her debut, which always is a good sign for me because I think it shows they have potential and precocity. She's 12-1 on the morning line. The Japanese jockey showed up and won yesterday's nightcap as well. So let's go 11-12 in a very, very difficult way to not only close out the card, but also to play the super high 5.
Yeah, it's a good race. This is one of my best price plays of the day. I'm going to bet on this for a straight if I can't get alive to. I really like Hannah Buckle. I thought her maiden win here at Del Mar last time was sensational. She smoked home, visually very impressive. I thought she had stakes potential. She just bombed in her next 2 starts, whatever. Probably had some issues. She went to the sidelines. Leonard Powell, another guy I think pointing a lot of these horses for this meet. Ayuso rides her well, and she's going to be a price. So I put Hannah Buckle on top. How about the quick brown fox? Will he jump over the lazy gray dog today and get all 26 letters of the alphabet? We'll see if he can do that. So I'm going to go 3-7. One more horse I want to ask you about, Tom. I've always kind of liked this mare. She doesn't win a lot, but Sakura Flavor. She broke her maiden, ran a couple of nice races, and she's another one who's been away a long time.
You know, there's a couple of reasons why I don't like Sakura Flavor, which probably means she's going to win by 10 lengths. But Patty Gallagher, again, courtesy of DRF formulator with long layoff runners the last 5 years, just 1 for 27. So it's not his forte. He's had a great 2025, but it's not his forte. And the other stand I'm taking, Kurt, is until these super long layoff runners start to win or hit the board, I'm not on them.
No, I'm with you. It looks like, I mean, who knows in each individual case, but a lot of these horses might need a race, and then second time, fire, right?
And so many trainers are pointing to this meet and owners, right? You know, everyone's really firing their best shot. They're not waiting for the next start.
No.
But these layoff runners, like you said, maybe in start number 2 or 3 off the long layoff is when they'll actually fire.
Let's try and make up for yesterday, Tom. I enjoyed the visit as always. Let's try and get back our bearings and make some money today.
We'll do it again next Saturday, Kurt. Thank you.
Tom Quigley has been my guest. Thanks to all of you for watching. Post time is about 32 minutes away. I'll see you in the paddock in about 15 minutes.